Good morning, it's Lisa with Lisahealyourself, and today we are going to practice a full session of brain retraining. Now, I've done many different programs over the years, including DNRS, GUPTA, ANS Rewire, the lightning process. So this is my version of all of those combined, and many different programs suggest practicing different ways. So this is just how I did it and how I'm doing it when the symptoms are at the worst. So basically, you're going to do the basic rewire process, which is become aware that you're in a looping thought, pattern, or problem, emotion, behavior, whatever it is, symptom, like focusing on your symptom, whatever it is, and you become aware and you want to break that. So it's stop, stop, however you like to say that. And then basically you're telling yourself, it's like, my nervous system is dysregulated and this is why these symptoms are happening. So then you go through that. You tell yourself, from all the training and all the research and everything that you've learned, you go through that and you say, this is why, this is true, that my brain is just sending the wrong messages. It's getting its wires crossed. And here's what we know about that. And you remind yourself, this is like a retraining so that you can remind yourself, once yes, I'm on board with the fact that this is not some scary disease, but this is my nervous system that is in a dysregulated state. Then you move to saying, I want to choose to rewire this thought now. So, or this behavior pattern, or this action, or this thought, or whatever it is that you're choosing to rewire. And then you replace it with a new, better thought, or a new, better action, or a new, better emotion, whatever it is. And you are also going to congratulate yourself. You're going to say, great job to yourself. Like, I love you, I'm proud of you for doing this. You're going to also talk to your nervous system and say thank you to your nervous system for trying to protect you, but you don't need protecting anymore because this is not helping, and it can rest, it can calm down. And then you're going to choose like an affirmation statement. You're going to choose your new state, what you want to be doing, what you want to be thinking, how you want to be instead of the way you are. And then you go into a visualization technique where we embody this new state, either by looking at a past experience or a future visualization. And we saying affirmations to ourselves, positive affirmations, statements of calm and love and peace. And so that's the process. And you can do that really quickly throughout the day. It really, if you're just doing it, takes about a minute and a half, like 1 to 2 minutes, to become aware, to recognize, to make a new pattern, to change, and to congratulate yourself and try to elevate to a new state. That's really what you're doing. But I find when people do this, the symptoms are still there, the pattern's still there, the emotion's still there, everything's still there. So you're like repeating, stop, and I want to do this, I want to change this, but the old is coming with you. And so a lot of programs will tell you to practice varying degrees of that every time. Like, you're constantly doing it. So you're constantly doing this all day long. And some programs will say you need a practice trying to get into the state and trying to really in depth, not just saying this process, but really learning it and really knowing it over time, over and over. And so you might want to practice a really in-depth training session for an hour a day, and then you do the minute or two rewire throughout the rest of the day. So I know a lot of people think, well, how do I do an hour? Well, if you're already really compromised, if you're having a hard time, you're just sitting around for hours on end anyways, or you're going for a walk for an hour, or you're doing something for an hour where you can literally practice this for an hour. And I think if you're really dysregulated, that's the way to go, is to focus on a training session that literally takes an hour. You're really going through step by step by step by step, and not merely just saying the words, but making it come alive. And then throughout the rest of the day, you just want to redirect to a positive state, redirect to a positive action, right? Just stop and change, stop and change. It's a quick rewiring, but to really go through it once in depth every day for an hour is really where that learning and that reminding yourself and that, you know, really feeling what you're saying and understanding what you're saying, and where that helps for those little 1 to 2 minute rewiring sessions that you have to do constantly all day long. If you've done the big ones over and over and over, it's going to help when you're in those small moments, okay? So that is what we're going to do here today. So settle in, grab a tea, and we are going to go through this. Now, before we go through the entire process of brain retraining, from the education piece to the knowing what's happening, to the making a new choice, and then to visualizing and feeling a new state and taking an action that's bringing us into a state of love and peace and calm, which is where we want to head. Before we do this, I often recommend a journaling session. When you're feeling it, you can say stop, stop, stop. I'm aware, and now I'm going to go do my journaling session. I'm going to allow all these negative, not ruminations about your symptoms, but the negative and the fear emotions out on the page. I'm going to allow myself to express every single thing that I'm feeling. I'm going to cry if I need to. I'm going to release. I'm going to allow myself to feel fear and anger and hopelessness and helplessness and shame and guilt and whatever feelings, emotions that are residing in your body. We don't want to stuff them. We want to let them out. So it's a good time to do it right before we get into choosing our new state and how we're going to go throughout the day. So allowing our feelings to rise in the moment when we're having them is super important. But before you go through a major brain retraining session, you might want to journal and allow everything out. Allow yourself to cry, allow yourself to break down, allow yourself to feel the feelings that you're feeling, rather than just holding them in, right? And being in this loop. Allow these feelings to express, allow the emotions to express outward. Write fast, write fast, right from your heart, just anything and everything, not about the things, but about the emotions. I feel angry, I feel helpless, I feel sad, I feel heartbroken, I feel hopeless, I feel jealous, I feel envy, I feel grief, I feel shame, I feel guilt. What are these emotions, the heavy emotions that you're feeling? Write them, get them out. And as soon as you get them out, or you just allow yourself to sit with them and feel them in their heaviness, feel them, then we're going to move in to our new choice, to the brain retraining. We're going to move in, we're going to move out of TMS, which is feeling and allowing all these feelings to rise, and we're going to remind ourselves what's happening with the education, which is both part of TMS and also part of brain retraining. We're going to really understand and believe in this now, and then we're going to make a new choice. We're going to go into brain retraining, which is making the new choice and doing and taking a new action with a new state, with love and compassion and calm and messages of safety for ourselves. And then we can go through this process quicker and faster through the day, where we just allow our emotion to rise, and then we go into brain retraining. But we want to do it out in its fullness. So stop the video here and go to a journaling session. Really let it out. Cry if you need to, shake if you need to, scream if you need to. Release the emotions that you're holding, and then come back and we will continue. Okay, welcome to my version of a brain rewiring, hour-long process. Okay, stop. I'm aware that I'm fixating on body sensations, on body symptoms. I'm aware that I'm in a looping trauma pattern. I'm aware that I'm dysregulated. I'm aware, of all these bad patterns. I am aware that what I'm doing right now in this moment isn't working. So I'm going to take a moment to just stop, stop, stop. And then I do stop literally the action that I'm doing, the thought that I'm thinking. Take a grounding breath, and now it's time to stop. Okay. So what is happening? Now we go through what is happening. My nervous system is dysregulated. My brain is stuck in a rut. My nervous system is dysregulated and sending messages to my brain. It's sending false messages. So I am getting a lot of symptoms. I'm not going to discuss what they are, but they can range from so many things to anxiety, to racing heart, to feeling dizzy, to off balance, to pricks and needles all over your skin, maybe to vibrating on the inside, maybe to feeling super lightheaded, extremely fatigued, your heart on fire, parts of your body needing to run. And it comes with a whole host of emotions of overwhelm and anger and frustration and helplessness and hopelessness and sadness. And all these symptoms and emotions are bound up together. And we know that nervous system dysregulation, the autonomic nervous system, can create all of these supposed illnesses or diagnoses. But we know that this dysregulated nervous system, when we go into a sympathetic state or a sympathetic dominant state, that the brain can send hormones, adrenaline and cortisol, and we have all these things pumping through the body at a volume that is turned up, and the symptoms are ratcheted up almost so they cannot be contained inside the human body, feeling so overwhelmed and dysregulated. And without focusing on these symptoms, we know for sure that nervous system dysregulation, a nervous system caught in fight, flight, or freeze, or a combination, can create all of these symptoms, illnesses, diagnoses, and more. So I can be confident, I can be 100% confident that this model, the fight or flight dysregulation of my nervous system, which is pumping out all kinds of hormones and signals and neurotransmitters and everything, that is causing what I fear is an illness or symptoms that can never end. It is not, my sensitivity to food. It is not a sensitivity to the environment or to the mold or to toxicity or, to whatever I believe is happening or have believed is happening in the past. While those things might be dangerous, while those things might be not good for the human body, those are things that I have tolerated perfectly fine in the past. And in recent years, when I've been perfectly healed, I could tolerate foods, environmental, whatever it is, while not good, and I choose to consume healthy whole foods, and while I consume and choose to use products that don't have harmful chemicals and be in environments that aren't overwhelming, I can handle, and most people can handle, the natural environment around them. So while my body may think it's being triggered by what's happening in the environment or inside my body, or an illness or a virus or a chemical or toxin or a mold or whatever I have linked this to in the past, is actually false. And this is 100% caused by an overstimulated nervous system, a dysregulated nervous system that is firing and creating these symptoms. And while it's true that neuroassociations to some of these foods and environmental things, or the thoughts, while it's true that it raises my fear level, and this in turn raises the symptoms, it's not true that the thing itself is causing the problem. It is how I'm perceiving it, how I'm perceiving the link to the symptoms, and how I'm perceiving what is causing it. But that is not true, and now I can believe that. I can get on board because the model and all the research that I've done shows that a dysregulated nervous system that is stuck in sympathetic mode, caught in fight, flight, or freeze, is the sole cause of what's happening now in my body. And so by knowing that from a research standpoint, from the model itself, when we look at what happens during fight, flight, or freeze, it can explain perfectly every single symptom that I'm having and why it's so overwhelming also, and confusing, and seems to fit no rhyme or reason. So why it has been so hard to solve this problem, or to fit it into a certain, why I keep going off in storyland, like it must be this, or it must be this, or it must be that, because the symptoms are so confusing. And the dysregulated nervous system, in fact, 100% confidence explains every single symptom that I have and that others have, if you go through that research model in depth. And so this hypersensitivity, this hair trigger that I find myself on and my nervous system on, is looping upon itself, wherein I get symptoms, I feel afraid of the symptoms, which causes the fight, flight, and freeze system to go up higher, which creates more symptoms, which causes it to go up higher, which in turn causes more symptoms that I'm afraid of, which causes the loop on itself. We know this, and I trust in this. I trust and I know that this is what my issue is. And even though my brain may continue to say, no, it's the food, no, it's the environment, it's the mold, it's the toxicity, it's the trauma, it's the past, it's this withdrawal that you've been through, it's the medication from years and years past, whatever it is that I'm telling myself this is not true. It's a hypersensitivity to the thoughts of those things. And when I fear them, it raises symptoms around that, which sets off the whole system in play, and which is causing all of the symptoms. And I know this because I have been through the withdrawal and recovered from it. I know this because I haven't taken a medication in over 10 years. It cannot be the residual effects of that. I know this because I have detoxed and done enema after enema and done so much remediation for possible toxins and chemicals and mold, and I have cleaned out my house, and I use good products, and I eat organic food and whole food, and I don't eat anything processed. And I know that it cannot be those things, because when I recovered, and before I was ill, and after the one time that I recovered more recently, for years, those things did not affect me. So I know it's actually not those things, but my fear that it might be those things, in fact, that's causing the loop that I'm experiencing now, and that's causing my nervous system to feel like it's in danger mode, like it's so afraid, or like to continually scan for danger. But it's actually the symptoms themselves and the fact that I feel I cannot escape my own body, which is causing more of the adrenaline and the hormones to be pumped out, which is causing more symptoms, which is feeding back on itself. So I know and I trust this, not only because the fight or flight model of the dysregulated nervous system explains every symptom and every dysregulation that I'm feeling, but also from my own experience, the experience of having gone through it for such a long time and coming out, knowing that you can come out, and knowing how to come out is through settling down the nervous system, placing trust in your own body, taking your power back, eliminating your doubt that it could be anything else, eliminating any of my doubts and fears that this is forever, trusting, feeling okay in your body, continuing to bring calm, continuing to go through the daily motions of my life, even when the symptoms are out of control. This is how the body eventually settles and re-regulates itself. So I know this from a model as well as from personal experience. The other thing, and the reason why it's important to watch at least one success story a day, is that it works with this training, because we can see not only from the model, not only from my own personal past experience of healing a dysregulated nervous system, but the many, many hundreds and thousands of stories of people that are out there who have suffered with everything that they believe, from Lyme to toxic mold to chronic fatigue syndrome to fibromyalgia to dysregulated, any kind of autoimmune disease, to long COVID, to the list goes on and on and on, to anxiety, to depression, to mental health problems and challenges. They have recovered by using a strategy that is brain retraining, and or through the TMS model. And both of these models, although they appear very different, are actually very similar, and that is why they are helping people to re-regulate their nervous systems and get their life back from a complete dysregulation to 100% recovery. And the brain retraining model does it by basically living your life again, by learning to live your life and to shut off the danger signal that is causing this problem, and to instead create safe and calm and positive new choices, and a feeling in your body that can build on itself. And while you're living your life, you break association with the fear and the old habits and the old patterns. And the TMS model breaks those associations by also attempting to have the person feel safe in their body, that there is no danger, that they are perfectly well and perfectly fine, that there is not an illness or disease that's causing this, but a dysregulated nervous system, but an overactive fear response in the body. And TMS would like you to not focus on the symptoms, actually break. It's kind of a brain retraining. It's a break association with the symptoms and the patterns, and instead feel your emotions, feel your feelings, have that emotional release, whether it's a good cry or standing up for yourself or feeling that trauma or anger response in your body, or that emotion of sadness, releasing it, not to stay in that state forever, releasing it through acknowledging it, through journaling, through feeling it, and then essentially going back to living your life, which is a form of brain retraining, bringing peace, bringing safety to the moment. So the combination of TMS theory as well as brain retraining theory, which is we don't want to focus on symptoms. We want to remind the nervous system that it's safe. This is all about safety. And safety comes from doing something different, from engaging in positive things, from giving your brain consistent messages of safety and positive feedback and love and compassion. And also from not stuffing our feelings down if we have something that wants to be felt and expressed too, and feeling the feeling, having the release, allowing that to complete, and then reminding yourself to move into more positive energies. So these two models not only explains how to heal, how to go about doing that, but the evidence and the stories, the success stories continually of people who heal from everything, from being in wheelchairs, to having chronic fatigue syndrome, to having extreme chronic pain, fibromyalgia, anxiety conditions, depressive disorders, many conditions, autoimmune disease. They're all healing symptoms of a dysregulated nervous system, the same way, by continuing to give message of safety, by allowing yourself to feel safe in your body, by feeling the emotions that may be stuffed down that need to come up, and by redirecting our thoughts into something more positive, and to not ruminate, to stop the rumination, to stop that ruminating thoughts, those patterns, those beliefs, because the belief is that you're safe and that you can heal and that you will heal, that there's nothing wrong with you. And when your nervous system gets on board and realizes it's safe and begins to feel this state of safety, you will have more and more moments that build on themselves. So we can see that it works from a model. We can see that it works from my own personal experience and history. We can also see this through all the success stories that we continually watch one a day to remind ourselves as part of this brain rewiring training. everybody heals who calms the nervous system and uses these techniques and theories from brain retraining and TMS. So this is what this is. This is what I believe this is. And this is why we're going through it. We're not merely just saying the words, stop, 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 my brain is in a rut, or my nervous system is misfiring. We are really understanding it, working it through, really believing it every day so that we know what's happening, so we don't have to become more afraid. We know what's happening, and we choose to believe this and put any other thought out of our mind. So the first part of this rewiring exercise is really going over the theory and the history again, and the evidence, and then building the belief that you too can heal. And we bring ourselves back to this every day to think through it again and again, because the brain likes repetition. The brain needs to hear this over and over so that we can change our belief and we know what's happening with us. And because when we believe what is happening with us, we can now take the real steps to solve it, instead of grasping at all these, diet, body work, all these different things, because we don't know the cause. When we know the cause, and when we bring ourselves back in training every day to rethink this through and come to this belief that this is a dysregulated nervous system, and it's the firing of this nervous system that is causing the symptoms, then we can make a plan forward. Every time we can choose the right option forward. And that is how we bring ourselves closer to healing, instead of continuing an unnecessary loop. And the reason why we also go over this every day is because we may be aware that healing, and people who have healed 100%, myself included, and the many, many others, that healing takes time, that healing isn't a linear process, that we need to be reminded of these on our hard days, because sometimes we take one step forward, 2 steps back, or 2 steps forward and 3 steps back, or 3 steps forward and 1 step back. And it's not a linear process. So by doing this training every day, by rethinking through this every day, we can remind ourselves, if the symptoms feel overwhelming, that it is all part of the process. And people who have come out of this report that this is indeed part of the process. Those people who healed 100% have reported this. And so now that I've thought this through, now that I recognize that I want to stop this fixation on symptoms, or stop this pattern, or stop this loop, I now make the choice now to rewire my brain, to focus on something that I do want rather than what I don't want. And even if the sensations come with me, I take an action that is calming. I take an action that is soothing. I take an action that settles the brain down. I use thoughts that settle the brain down. I attempt to take this in a different direction than getting bound up in the story and the fear. And that is the essence of the rewiring process. And it's about making a choice, making a clear choice. And I do choose to take this in a different direction, because I believe what's happening. I understand what's happening. And so it's necessary to choose a new action, to choose a calming thought, to choose a calming anything that I can do that's a better choice. That's a choice that moves me toward healing, toward calming the nervous system, toward safety and feeling safe in my body and my skin, rather than moving further away from that. We want to move towards safety. What makes me feel safe now? What can I say? What can I do? What can I feel that moves me more towards the energy and the feeling of safety and calm and joy and love and peace in my body that I actually want? So here's where I make a choice. I'm going to do, think, say something new. So I turn to myself. I turn inward to myself. Some programs put you on a different spot. Some programs talk directly to yourself. I'm speaking to myself. Thank you for recognizing this and for wanting and deciding to make a new choice, even if it's hard. And yes, it will be hard, especially at the beginning. I love you. I thank you for making a new choice, even though it's hard. I believe in you. I know you can do this. I know you can heal. I know it begins with a new choice, even if it feels uncomfortable. I'm proud of you, and I want to remind you to keep it up. Keep it up. This is a dedication. This is a consistency. And I want to tell you how proud I am of you. And also, keep it up. Keeping it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. Determination. Keeping it up. Not quitting. Not going back. Not going down the rabbit hole. Not thinking it's too hard, but keeping it up. Keeping it up. Continue to keep making the right choices that bring you a more sense of safety, towards safety, letting go of fear, letting go of the old patterns, letting go, and keep it up. This is a practice, a dedication to keep it up even when it's hard, to keep it up even when you think it's not working, to keep it up even when you're having a good day, to keep it up when you're having a terrible day, to be consistent, and keeping it up. I'm proud of you. I love you. Just be consistent and keep it up. And then I want to turn to my nervous system. That part of my brain, the autonomic nervous system, the limbic system, whatever you want to call it, and say thank you for trying to protect me. I love you too. I know you think that sending off these signals is attuning me to danger that I need to address. I know you think you're keeping me alive. I know you think you're doing the right thing, but old animal reptilian nervous system, you don't have all the information that my conscious mind has. I know the subconscious programming of fear is strong, and I know you're sending me messages and signals, and I promise to listen to you. I promise to hear that you have a signal and a message for me, and to allow that emotion to come up and to feel it. And then I want to redirect you. I want to know that you can rest now. You don't have to continue to send these constant messages and symptoms and signals to alert me. I am aware, and I see a pattern, and I don't want to continue to stay in this loop. So, nervous system, old reptilian brain nervous system that has its job to keep me safe, to alert me to danger and fear. Please, it's time to rest. You are caught in a loop. You're misfiring. You're reading all of this wrong. There is no danger. I'm not in danger. This world is not a dangerous place. This country is not a dangerous place. My home is not a dangerous place. My relationships are not dangerous. I am not in danger. My food's not in danger. I am not in danger. I am in a positive environment. I'm okay. There is no immediate danger that I need to run or fight or freeze from. The only danger that you feel is the overwhelming sensations, which you, in fact, are sending, which leads us into this loop. And the only way we can break it is if we focus on calm. And if I try to use my conscious brain to override you, to remind you in physical action, in what I do, and in what I say, and in how I'm sitting, and in how I'm breathing, and in how I'm holding my body, and in how I'm loosening and opening and continuing my activities, I want to show you, not just tell you, I want to show you that you are safe, that you're not in danger, that you can stop sending these messages so that you can heal. Because the more and more you step down and you rest, the more and more you will realize that you don't need to keep sending the signals. And so this is what we're working on. I thank you for trying to keep me safe, but we're making a new decision now. And every time we do this training, every time we do this in-depth training, I'm reminding you that actually the key to healing is to stop firing, those sensations and symptoms, and stop the hypervigilance and the constant ruminating. And I need to help you by showing you, by overriding you, by taking you in a new direction. I hear you. I know you have emotions and feelings and sensations that are all bound up together and that are unconscious because of old trauma, because of how you've done it in the past, because of how you've felt in the past, because of what you've went through in the past. But we're not living in the past anymore, and we're safe right now, right here. The past is over. You are okay. You are safe. Take a breath, relax, remind yourself, I'm making a new choice here, I thank you, but we're gonna keep this up. And so I'm going to try to remind you by taking a new action and a new thought now. And I know you've felt trauma in your life. I know you've felt you had to do this to keep me alive and safe before. And I want to reach out to that inner child, to let that inner child feel the pain and the sadness and the helplessness and whatever the emotion that they felt in the past. And I can be here with you now. I want to send my inner child love. I want to place my hands on my heart and remind that inner child that I'm here now. And we don't have to do this anymore, that the past is over. The past is over. And that actually I love you and you're safe. And I know you didn't get what you needed in those moments in your past. And that your nervous system had to kick in order to put you in fight, flight, or freeze to keep you safe and alive. But we can look back at that past now and bring new grounding to it, bring new love, bring a new awareness. The past is over. The past is over. You are here now in the present moment, and you are safe. You are safe even if you're having sensations and symptoms. They are from an old program. And when we can remind ourselves how much I love you, how much I'm here for you unconditionally, I will never leave you. I will always be with you. I will continue to show you love. All the different ages of you that needed the love, that needed someone to be there, that felt helpless. I'm here now. We can do this together. We will do this together because I will never stop loving you. I will never stop speaking kindly to you, and I will never abandon you. I'm with you. You're safe. I love you. We can do this. So even if you don't feel like you believe, even if your brain continues to want to go off on tangents, I'm making a choice to believe in the science of fight or flight and why this is happening. And I believe in my ability that I can heal, that many have healed, and I'm making a choice. I am making a choice. I'm making the choice now. Whether or not you come with me, reptilian brain, is besides the point. The conscious part of me, the adult part of me, the part that wants to go towards safety and healing is making this choice. I, higher self of me, am taking my power back, even if it's difficult, and I am making a choice. And I'm going to continue to make that choice over and over and over. The reason I'm making this choice is because what we have been doing isn't working. It is not getting us closer to where we want to be. Right? We've been going in a loop. And what we're doing is keeping us sick. It's not actually helping us move toward health, move to where we want to go. And that is why I'm making this choice. We need to do something new now. So we are going to make sure that we do something new. And all of the evidence from all the success stories shows that moving in this direction is what has healed everybody, and even my own experience. I know, and that is why I'm making this choice. That is why we're moving this way. I trust the process of this, and this is what I'm going to continually, over and over, keeping it up. So I'm choosing to believe something new now. I'm choosing to believe that I can heal, that I will heal, that my nervous system is regulating and wants to find homeostasis. I'm choosing to believe that continuous messages of safety and actions of safety and calming conversations, relationships, environments, music, activities, and continuing to do the activities through the day that I want to do in my own environment. Not pushing outside that yet, just building a container in a life of being able to walk and cook and take care of my family, and just the basics of life is what we're working toward. We're working toward doing those things in a new way, in a calm state. I'm choosing the energy of calm. I'm choosing to believe that my nervous system can and will heal. I'm choosing to believe that these lessons are going to make me stronger and better. I'm choosing to believe that my nervous system can re-regulate through calm and continuous messages of safety. I'm making a choice that I can walk, I can exercise, I can cook, I can go throughout my day. It's not too hard on my body to take slow, consistent, daily action that just contains a simple life. I can live a simple life, and I choose to live this life. I choose to believe in myself. I choose to believe that every cell in my body is coming into homeostasis. It wants to find wholeness and health. I believe, and I choose to believe, that I can handle my feelings and my emotions and let them flow through me. I can feel sadness without getting caught in the story. I can feel anger without ruminating. I can feel fear without continuing to let it loop. I can feel these emotions and I can feel what they feel like. I can allow them in my body and let them flow through. I can choose new actions. I can choose new behaviors. I choose to believe that my body is moving towards wellness, that it's whole, that it can heal and that it wants to heal, and that my actions are bringing it closer to health. Every single day, in every single way, I choose to believe that I can have a life filled with love and happiness and joy and peace and calm and feeling amazing inside my own body. And I can do this one step at a time. I choose to believe I'm moving towards complete wholeness, feeling amazing, feeling good and at peace inside my body. I choose to believe that my nervous system is coming into regulation, that it wants to regulate, and that I have the power to help it regulate. And not only do I understand the science of what's happening and believe in it, I'm making a choice, but now I'm going to take action. And the action is I'm going to think a new thought. I'm going to immerse myself in a new calming activity, just a new activity, anything, maybe a meditation, maybe a somatic tracking process, maybe some yoga, maybe just cooking or even cleaning or going for a walk, looking at nature. I'm going to maybe listen to music, listen to classical music, listen to sounds of nature. Look around. I'm going to choose to focus outward instead of inward. I'm going to choose a hobby or an activity, and instead of continuing to focus in and getting caught in stories and in a loop, I'm going to immerse myself in trust. I'm going to trust that even if this action doesn't feel okay now, that over time it will start to feel normal. My body will start to accept it because my nervous system wants to heal. And I'm making a choice that I'm no longer going to get caught up in stories and loops and patterns and fixations and ruminations. I'm going to continue through my day. I'm going to continue through my day making the next best choice, making a better choice, thinking better thoughts, taking better actions, doing better activities that lead me and my mind towards joy and peace and calm and homeostasis. That's where I want to head. And so I know you're calling me. I know you're talking to me, animal brain. I hear you. I will allow your feelings to come, your emotions to be felt, but not that chatter, not that mind control, not those symptoms, not the ruminations. We're going in a new direction. I choose it. And now I'm going to take action and trust in that action, even if it doesn't feel right yet, even if it's uncomfortable. I'm going to trust in my actions. I'm going to continue to take the actions and trust in my body, trust in myself, trust in the healing process, trust that I am on the right healing path. And my choice and my action is replacing that fear, is replacing that rumination. I'm now replacing it with something new, something different, something more positive. It doesn't even have to be amazing. It's just more calming, better for me. I'm replacing it. I can't just leave this hole where fear once lived. I have to replace it with something new, and that's the action. Even if my body feels in fight or flight or freeze and doesn't want me to do that, I'm going to do that because I've made a choice and I'm going to take a new action. And the new action is moving me towards safety and peace and love and calm and happiness and hope. This new action is filled with hope, not hopelessness. It's filled with taking back my power, not allowing it to drain from me. It's reminding myself I'm safe instead of getting caught up in old stories. It's doing something kind and loving for myself, talking nicer to myself, telling myself I'm going to heal, telling myself good things that are going to come, doing activities that feel good, whether they're self-care or just going through my day and trusting that I can do it. This is the choice. This is the action that I'm going to take now. Okay, I know you're scared. I know you have had past trauma. I know this makes you feel scared. I know you've been immersed in the symptoms and the stress chemicals coursing through your body. But we're going to replace that with love. Messages of safety and love. And even if you don't feel like you can choose actions, you can choose love. You can choose to be kind to yourself. Say kind things, say healing things. Remind yourself that you will heal. Be your own best champion. You can choose love, and you can choose kindness to yourself and self-compassion. You can choose self-love, a self-loving thing to do, a self-loving thing to say. Just wrap your arms around yourself and be there for your inner child. Be there for the part of you that's sad and scared. That is a new choice. That is also rewiring the brain. Instead of getting caught up in that story with the part of you that's scared, you can be there for the part of you that's scared, and you can choose love. You can choose to love yourself unconditionally. And you can go about your day in that state. Sometimes we can't choose the state of health or perfect health or whatever it is, but we can choose the state of love. I love myself no matter what. I'm unconditionally there for myself no matter what. I love myself. I'm going to heal. I'm going to do it in a loving way. And I'm going to be there for myself every step of the way because I do love myself, and I will show myself that unconditional love. And so you can always, even when you are at your worst, make that choice. Make a kind, loving choice for yourself, just to tell yourself you love yourself. That is rewiring your brain. That is making a new choice. And you can always choose love. I choose love. I choose to love myself. I choose to believe that every cell in my body works towards homeostasis. I choose strength. I choose courage. I choose abundance. I choose kindness. I choose to nourish myself. I choose to give self-care to myself. I choose to meditate. I choose to play calming music. I choose to smile. I choose to put my arms around myself. I choose love and self-love. I choose self-worth. I choose self-acknowledgement. I choose passion. I choose joy. I choose happiness. I choose calm. I choose peace. I choose to breathe slowly. I choose to stay grounded. I choose to let anything go that's not absolutely necessary. I choose to love my family. I choose to engage in loving conversation. I choose to engage in loving relationships. I choose to accept myself exactly the way I am. I choose to be a helper to myself. I choose to believe that I am a healer and I am healed. I choose to believe that I can do this, that I'm strong, that I'm courageous, that I'm smart, that I'm funny, that people love me. I choose to believe that people think the best of me. I choose to believe that my family supports me. I choose to believe that they want the best for me. I choose to believe that they accept me. I choose to believe that the world is a safe place. I choose to believe that my country is a safe place. I choose to believe that my home and my finances are safe. I choose to believe that my husband loves me and will have an amazing relationship. I choose to believe that my kids are amazing in our relationship and we can do fun things together. I choose to believe in joy in this home. I choose to believe in peace in this home. I choose to accept myself and love myself unconditionally. I choose to believe that my past is over and that my body can find peace right here, right now. I choose to believe that this is going to be short. I choose to believe that I'm already healing. I choose to believe I'm on the right healing path and journey. I choose to believe that I'm in the safest place and I'm giving my messages of safety all day to my body and that it's working amazingly. I'm choosing loving, kind, self-compassionate thoughts, and I'm choosing to always be there for myself and to love myself through this. I'm choosing a state of love over fear. I'm choosing a state of peace over fear. I'm choosing a state of calm. Even if I don't feel it, I'm choosing to embody it now. And so I choose to do this brain retraining every day. I choose to allow my emotions to be felt. I choose to allow my body to be calm. I choose to allow myself to listen to this every day and do this brain retraining every time a story or a pattern or a loop takes me away from the essence of who I truly am and what I truly want and what I truly choose. I choose to take my power back. I choose to call back my spirit and my power now and know that I can trust myself. I choose to trust and love myself unconditionally. And I choose to go about my day in a new way with the essence of self-love at the forefront. I choose this because I know this is the healing path. I know that this will heal me, and I know that I'm on my way. And now we do a visualization. We do a visualization from something in the past or something in the future. You can remember a beautiful memory, and you can visualize something that you want in the near future, something that you want 6 months from now. A beautiful moment that you want to create and live, or something in the past that felt amazing to you that you can recreate, because you want to create these states even if you can't feel them yet. You want to help your body remember and work into feeling the state of love and calm and peace and joy and happiness. And that's what you're going to do now with a beautiful visualization. And after the visualization, it's time to say some affirmation. It's time to repeat our affirmations. You can listen to a guided affirmations. You can do a guided visualization or a calming meditation, something that makes you feel good and inspired and reminds you to live and go throughout the day in a healing state, in a state of love. And you can choose love and calm over fear. And so there will be a part 2 of this video that will do a guided visualization and finish with some more affirmations. But for now, You can look up guided visualizations online. You know, there's so many calming ones out there. You can create your own, but if you don't have the capacity, you can listen to someone else's. Maybe that you're going swimming on a beautiful beach, or you're resting in a beautiful hammock, or you're having a perfect, amazing day. And you can create the script for this yourself and record it and play it, or you can find one online, or you can listen to mine in part 2. And then you can finish up with some more affirmations. And if you can create your own, but you can also look up online just healed health, I am healed visualizations. You can listen to Louise Hay's visualizations and affirmations about health and healing. She's very calming. Anything like this will work. So first, a visualization where you try to feel the state, and second, where we just end with some affirmations as we're maybe going through our day, and then we get into action. We make the choice to live in this new state, to bring this new state of love, self-love, and healing, and safety, and calm with us throughout our day. And if we get tripped up again, then we go through the process. And we don't have to do this hour-long one every time. We can go through the process quicker, you know, all the rest of the day. But come back and do a full training every day until you build capacity and belief and trust, until your symptoms start to regulate, until you can start to see that just the shorter versions are working. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for part 2.